What's going on, family? It's the luckiest one in the building, the hood's pastor, the hood's guru, Saturn's favorite in the building. Y'all already know the vibes. You got to speak into the mic when you really want to project and enunciate some things. All right, family, y'all see the title. Y'all see what we get into. Happy first of the month, everybody. All right, we in that one vibration, so we got to be intentional as far as what we desire and what we finna manifest in the new space, okay? We already know the most significant thing about the month of March is the new year. All right, guys, so let's talk about what's going on in the month of March, what's surrounding the influences of the new year birth energy, okay? I'm wishing everybody a fruitful month of March and a great entrance into the new year. But y'all know what we do over here. Y'all know what we do in church, right? We got to make sure we stay in alignment so we always spiritually ahead of the curve, right? And that's why we get into these breakdowns in the first place. So I appreciate the likes, the shares, the subscrizzles. I appreciate everybody that's been building heavy with the congregation this first quarter of 2024. All right, family. I know this week, that's the definition of this week. All right, not to say it was positive, not to say it was negative. Ain't nothing negative, because we always growing and we learning, and every experience and lesson, every experience has a lesson behind it, a gem to extract from it. But we know we're dealing with that big Pisces conjunction energy this week, so it may have just been some things that may have been restricted and limited, or different circumstances where we were brought down to earth having to pass Saturn. All right, guys, but that's a great thing. All right, it helps to bring more of a foundation to things dealing with potential energy in our imagination, and that's going to be important going into this month. For one, Pisces energy is at large this month as well. Okay, so we needed that. We needed that because it kind of might be more of an intense influence dealing with Pisces energy in this month of March, and we're going to break down why. All right, family, go ahead and tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper, gang. Okay, go ahead and tap into my Patreon. We're getting into more celebrity synastry breakdowns. I'm going to have a breakdown about Diddy posted today. So we coming in with the fire. He's all up in the tabs. We're going to really understand what's going on with that brother, aka Brother Love. I don't know how much love is up in that brother spirit, but we're going to get into that. All right, gang. I'm also going to be getting into a asteroid private live stream that I'm only going to be doing on my Patreon, so a little exclusive John going on over there. Okay, my patrons, they've been requesting a lot of influences dealing with asteroid energy series, Pallas, Juno, all right, Chiron. So we're going to get into that over there. If that sounds like something you're interested into, go ahead and tap in with the Patreon family. Okay, shout out to all my YouTube memberships. Okay, I see y'all coming in with them green dresses and suits. So hopefully, if you're catching this video, I hope to see you in a church service, live stream church service in the month of March, if you're not usually one to catch a service. Okay, what else? Just get into some quick announcements, guys. Quick announcements for the month of March. I will be doing in-person readings in New York City, so that announcement as far as how you could book that service, which I'll only be taking a few. I can only do so much with the time that I'll be in New York City for the month of March. We're also going to be having another masterclass in the month of March, and I want to focus on finding talents, gifts, and purpose in the natal chart. All right, so announcements for that will be up soon, and I think that's going to be great, ushering into Aries season and this new space. Okay, I want you guys to be knowing self and what you possess, what gifts you brought here. Okay, as much as possible, getting into this new space, dealing with our self-identity, Aries energy. I am first house. So we got that going on. And yeah, family, all other important announcements and dates will be announced. All right, hopefully that wasn't too much to throw at y'all. Okay, to start the video, if you want to connect with the Lucky Libra, make sure you hit that website and you schedule something with the Lucky Libra. All right, guys, but let's get into it. Transits for the month of March. All right, so we're going to be cruising and grooving until we get into the 9th. The real action starts on the 9th, and that's when Mercury enters Aries. All right, so that's the first thing we have entering Aries. Now, before we start getting into planets that's entering Aries, we already have Chiron and North Node conjunct. So when it comes into establishing our self-identity, when it comes into embracing all transformations that manifest in our life from us doing something individual, especially me being a Libra, right? Sometimes we be withholding doing something that may create a different outlook of how we're perceived in the world, you know, and we may just keep going along with the wind instead of establishing something from an individual point of view, because we know we might come off opposing, we might come off a little rebellious. Aries don't give a damn about none of that, okay? Aries don't give a damn, all right? A lot of people on the Aries Libra axis are the ones that are going through, you know, some extreme circumstances, right? With the nodes being in this axis at the moment, especially this being the axis where eclipse season has been taking off. And guess what else is going on in the month of March? Eclipse season. Let me take a sip of this damn coffee because y'all think it's a game. It ain't a game, family. It ain't a game at all. We already remember the intensity that manifested with eclipse season last year in 2023, okay? Everything works in cycles, guys. We mentioned around these times that, you know, it's just going to come back full surface when we get into 2024 and jump back into eclipse season. And it's a cycle. It helps reflect on where we was at and how we've grown from these spaces, or how we haven't grown from these spaces. So once again, we're here to stay spiritually ahead of the curve. Can I get an ashe? I should have said this earlier in the video. Can I see some ones in the comments? Can I see some blood of the hood in the comments? Some holy water? Some plates? Family, it's the first of the month. Do you hear me? All right now. I'm trying to stay cool, calm, collected, but you know only so much I could do when that word of God start really moving through me. But let's stay focused. Must stay focused. Dr. Umar voice. All right. So on the 9th, Mercury enters Aries. Everybody make sure with North Node and Chiron, you continue to embrace establishing your individuality in the house that you have Aries in. You have to be conscious of how your individuality is being challenged here. Okay, I've just posted about Mars. I made a thread about Mars on my Instagram. I'll be uploading it today on YouTube. But in that thread, there's a slide that I talk about the house that you have Mars in will always attract an adversary, will always attract an opponent, because this is what's going to challenge your goals. All right, guys? So that is very likely in your Aries house, in your Scorpio house. So you have to be careful how your self-identity or your sense of personal expression or your individuality or your ability to just be cardinal fire, to start and initiate something, right, in the name of a vision, in the name of an aspiration. How is that suppressed or blocked here? Chiron and North Node is helping us learn how to persevere through times where we weren't able to do this. You know, capitalize with experience, okay? And stand on our 10 toes when it comes to how we represent ourselves personally in the world. Can I get a shizzle? Okay, so that's what we got going on with Chiron and North Node. I just had to really sprinkle some more on that placement with all these energies coming into Aries, because they're going to be highlighting this. They're going to be highlighting what's already going on in that area when it comes into our spiritual development here. Okay, so Mercury enters Aries. Now, before planets enter Aries, remember, they have to pass Neptune. They have to pass Neptune entering Aries. So there's a new spark of imagination, healing, and intuition leading into the new year. All right, guys, so we're transiting all these Pisces energies, but when the Mercury and the Sun and these energies start passing Neptune, it's a real excited, impulsive vibe to take action on this dream, on this aspiration. By this time, Mercury enters, by the time Mercury enters Aries, we're still loading up for the new moon in Pisces. So by the time we get into Aries season, there's going to be things cemented with our dreams, and Aries season, we're just living it. We're just expressing it. We're getting comfortable being seen for our new self-identity. We're embracing the transformations that's manifesting, dealing with us expressing this new us. All right, guys? So I want us to get comfortable doing the work that we have to do in our Pisces house and cultivating the dream, cultivating the journey that we're on. So by the time we get into Aries season, we're not so much thinking about it. We're not so much feeling on it. That's not Aries season, guys. Aries season is the doer. Aries season is the liver. Yeah, I don't even know if that's not even... A liver is a whole motherfucking organ in this mug, all right? Y'all know what I meant, though. Y'all know what Pastor, y'all be trying to correct Pastor knowing what he meant up here, all right? But Aries is the doer, is the one that's living out the dream, all right? So we have to be aware about making sure we're not in too much of a space of thinking and seeing how we're going to do this, that, and that. No, in Aries season, we just doing, all right? We're just being. And there's a season for everything. And that's what we got going on with Aries season. All right, guys. So Mercury enters Aries. The mind is more of a spark space. The mind could be more impulsive, just how we communicate and relate things. But the reason when Mercury gets into Aries is not just so much about impulsive communication. It's more so about speaking from spirit, truly from a transparent space without having to put too much thought around it. This could be positive and negative. All right, it's just the energy. When Mercury gets into fire, it deals with more of a glance of visions and whatnot and creative aspirations. So you just have to make sure when Mercury is swimming through that fire element that you're not throwing too much logic on the things that Mercury's seeing, that it can create. Allow Mercury to add detail to these visions, not kill the vision with too much thinking about things, right? All right. So we got that going on. And on the 10th, new moon in Pisces, guys. That is what we're currently working our way up towards, okay? We just got out this full moon in Virgo energy. The moon is in Scorpio to come into the first of the month. So we got Scorpio, and then with the next water sign, we're trying away right now. Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, new moon in Pisces on the 10th, guys. And now everything that we've been experiencing, learning, swimming through, understanding, recollecting, dreaming on, aspiring, potential energy, it gets cemented now. Now it gets cemented. So we have to understand how we're going about these dreams and these aspirations and these healing journeys by the time we get into the new moon in Pisces. So we're intentional. So we know exactly what we're telling universe. Remember, universe bends to our will. We don't bend to the will of the universe. And it will seem like that when you lack intention. The universe is here to serve our will. Okay? So we want to make sure we get to that new moon in Pisces. And we're like, universe, look. Okay, I figured this was what it's going to be, brother, sister, whatever you really are. So that you so divine, I don't even really know. Okay, but this is the aspiration I have. This is what I have in my subconscious, that I'm going to heal, uplift, rid, detox in some type of shape or form. Okay, I've already did the work in the full moon in Virgo, detaching and releasing from these spaces in order to support these new creative aspirations, this healing journey, my spiritual development, the potential connection I'm trying to pour into, work on. So these are all the things I'm intentional about, okay? And let's get it cemented. This is the new foundation, and these are the things that you will be living during Aries season. These are the things you will be doing during Aries season. We don't want to take up so much time because Aries season is going. It's futuristic. We cannot hold back Aries energy by dealing with past influences. So that's why we got to make sure before we get to Aries season, we continue to embrace this space to recollect, because this is the time to do that. All right. New dreams and aspirations and connections are now being cemented, and we're living in them. Sun, Moon, Neptune conjunction. All right. By the time the new moon manifests in Pisces, that's what the activity is going to be. There's going to be a tight conjunction with the Sun, Moon, and Neptune. All right. So it's going to be the peak. Neptune, sensitivity, dreaming, okay, compassionate, understanding, wise. So all of this accumulates past experiences to help confirm where we're at with the development from something spiritually, creatively, okay? And it's going to be a slight conjunction with Mercury and Saturn. I like to keep things within 7 degrees. The new moon is gonna be way more than a 7-degree radius between Mercury and Saturn. So, different astrologers will interpret that different ways. I'll say it's a slight conjunction. Since Saturn is in Pisces and since Mercury's going to be on that cusp, I believe Mercury's going to be around 1 or 2 degrees of Aries at that time, but it's going to be on the cusp. So I want to OD consider it a part of the new moon. But Neptune is all up in that mug. All right, guys? All right, I say, my God is a good one. Not a bad one, not a lackluster God, not mine. Can I get an Ashe? So we got that going on, guys. The 11th, Venus enters Pisces. Lord have mercy. You thought Pisces season was Piscean. You thought Pisces season was Piscean seasoning until Venus got up in that Pisces. Lord have mercy. When Pastor covered his mouth like that, he really astonished about something. Guys, this is the exaltation of love. This is the exaltation of self-worth. This is the exaltation of finding satisfaction, working and connecting to your dreams. This is the exaltation of us making sure we find the core of what our worth is, so we know how to pour love into our goddamn selves. Family, do you hear me with this Venus and Pisces thing? But the thing about Venus and Pisces, it's an exaltation. And what have y'all heard me talk about with exaltations for the longest? They're very powerful and they're hard to control. With Venus and Pisces, she's very impulsive, jumping into things dealing with love matters. Venus not even in Pisces right now. Venus is actually in a detached state. And us just being in Pisces influences a lot of us are impulsive dealing with connection. Venus not even in there yet. So that's just showing us how Venus in Pisces plays out as an archetype in Pisces. You don't have to have Venus in Pisces. You don't have to have Venus in the 12th house. But if you have a lot of Pisces energy, you're going to most likely have these traits of being very sensitive towards love matters, building a huge potential of something dealing with love matters on the first date, first conversation. You're like, okay, I want to get married, sister. But what's your last name again? Damn. All right. So that's Venus and Pisces for you guys. Venus deals with love. It's dealing with feeling. So once again, we're dealing with this Sun, Mercury, Saturn conjunction like influence, Neptune as well, as we come into the month of March currently, as you guys are watching this. But Venus gets in there. Now we're going to start tapping into the real feel and emotion of things dealing with love matters and being able to have to ground ourselves a bit dealing with this influence. And speaking of grounding ourselves with Venus entering Pisces, as high as, I gotta get back to the notes, I gotta have them for a reason. As high as Venus gets, she's gonna have to conjunct Saturn at some point. All right, so Saturn, we know Saturn energy is dealing with stability, structure, right? Grounding things, long-term energies, time. So in the month of March, there will be talks about marriage, initiating long-term commitments, especially not just romantically, guys, in the name of sharing the same value with somebody. There could be a creative business partnership that gets cemented in more of a long-term way, okay? Breakups, if relationship aspirations, Pisces, or potential energy, Pisces, doesn't add up. So that's kind of what we want to focus on with our loved ones moving into the space with any type of, associates. Are our aspirations and the potential of what we're working towards, is that adding up? Are we seeing the same thing? Okay, because it's most likely going to fall out by the time Venus gets to Saturn. But Saturn's also here, once again, to bring more stability to our love matters. Okay? So that's what we got going on. Venus enters Pisces. We're really in la la land when it comes into love, and we need to make sure we don't fly too much off the handle, and we understand how to identify these things within ourselves. Once again, Pisces, understanding our subconscious, how it's affected by the subconscious of others, and affecting how, also understanding how we affect other people's subconscious based on how we connect. So it may be also a space where, you realize you pour into yourself, but you might have attracted somebody that need healing. You just now might realize that when we get to this space. All right, but y'all know all these important changes. We're gonna get into these things more in depth as they come about. All right, guys. So Venus entering Pisces on the 11th. Then on the 19th, guys, Sun enters Aries. All right, Sun enters Aries, the real new year. All right, not the 20. We celebrate 2024 New Year. But we more so celebrating that from the numerical influence that's brought into the year, with it being an 8 cycle. Now, when we talk about energy wise, astrologically wise, okay, when that sun hits the first house, it's a new solar cycle. The sun is at its peak. Everything is growing. Everything is fruitful. Everything is full of life, and we need to be full of life and vitality as far as acting out everything that we've been cultivating in this pregnancy space, in the womb space, in which I like to call the 12th house and Pisces season. All right, guys? All right, family? So it's officially the new year. Our intuition with how we should be establishing I am energy in our life is lit up. By this time, when the sun enters Aries on the 19th, Mercury will be conjunct the North Node on the same day. So the mind is already going to be fulfilled with a lot of things dealing with how, it could be a little nerve-wracking, because remember, anything that's next to the north node can come off a little nerve-wracking, can create worrisome vibes. So the vibration is going to feel very vital. So we got to make sure we're not jumping into fight or flight energies as soon as the sun gets into Aries. Yes, we want to act. Yes, we want to do, but make sure the mental is at somewhat of a stable space. All right, and there's a sense of direction with what we got going on. We don't want to be taking action all over the place, and we're a little distorted as to what we're doing. We're running around in circles, going nowhere with mad energy, though. All right, guys. But Mercury being conjunct the North Node on the same day is also going to help us to see the details as to, once again, how to capitalize over the times we didn't establish our I am presence in our lives. Okay, can be very excited about potential energy and the process of taking action on our dreams, our creative endeavors due to Neptune's influence. Once again, the sun has got to pass that. Neptune energy is going to be pretty much still conjunct Neptune, because I believe Neptune is going to be around 27, 28 degrees. All right, so it's going to be right there on the cusp for the most part. All right, guys. All right, moving on. March 22nd, Mars enters Pisces. Mars enters Pisces, guys. Mars, the impulsive one, the warrior, the one that carries goals and intentions, the one that wants to follow the duties of the sun. All right, guys. So when I talk about this possibly being more of a turned up month in our Pisces house, but guys, by this time we have Mars, Venus, Saturn, and Neptune here. Mars and Venus are the two chakra stars that deal with our feelings, emotions, what we love, what we like, what we angry about, what we frustrated about, what we passionate about, what we impulsive about, what we're sensitive towards. They're going to be together in Pisces. So this energy has to be channeled with intention as how we're continuing to fuel what we've cemented during the new moon in Pisces, right? The new aspirations, the new dreams that we're living out. Mars and Venus comes in to stabilize them. So we're working with them. We're working towards these things with a sense of satisfaction. Venus, we're feeling good, making sure we're pouring into these things and keeping our emotional and mental space in a healthy, stable, environment, in a healthy, stable space in order to support, right, our new dreams. And Mars comes with the intensity. So, Mars brings transformation, guys. So this is going to be a time in March, we're going to transform a lot of things in the name of our dreams. And the things that are going to be transformed are things that may feel like a burden towards you. Anything that you're connected to or still attached to in our lives, especially when it comes into your mutable houses, and especially when it comes into your Pisces house, all right? Mars is not going to waste time bulldozing through these things because it's passionate about getting towards its dreams and whatnot. When Mars is in Pisces, you got to think about it. Mars is impulsive. Mars doesn't have a sense of planning, right? It wants to learn through experience and just jumping into something and figuring things out in the middle of the game. All right, Mars is going to figure something out in the timeout of the game. It's not going to be doing so much of the scouting report and trying to plan like, okay, that's their star player. Okay, that team likes to play fast. Mars really don't care about doing the game plan before the game. Mars is more invested about catching the feel of the team, of the opponent and the adversary or the goal while it's in the midst of it, and they'll make its tweaks and transformations within the path of manifesting something and achieving a goal. So when Mars gets into Pisces, we know Pisces is boundless. People with Mars in Pisces, they're impulsive, just jumping into what they want to do from a creative perspective or from a spiritual development perspective. There's a Mars and Pisces person out there right now. They're so inspired and motivated by something dealing with astrology. They didn't wait to start learning everything about astrology to start teaching. They just started teaching what they know. They want to be an astrologer so bad, they're passionate about it. They're like, all right, y'all, the sun, the moon, this and that, third, they just got right into it. And they're gonna, whatever they learn in the midst of it is what they're gonna project and push out. So once again, forget what's positive and negative. This is a good thing when it comes into just being able to take initiative and fuel and gas up the things amongst your creative endeavors and your spiritual journey, and being able to transform the things that play out as a burden towards your spiritual and creative development, family. But we're going to have so much emotion in the mix in our Pisces house, right? Mars and Venus in the same space, just like how we have a lot going on with the emotions and vibes in our Aquarius house. Mars and Venus are in there now. All right, impulsive with dreams and illusions. Mars, Venus, and Saturn, Neptune are here. A lot of emotion towards potential energy, connections, and aspirations. Must ground ourselves is different from the Sun and Mercury conjunction because Venus and Mars are feeling based. Eventually, they're going to have to pass Saturn, so they're going to get their time to become grounded, right? When the Sun and Mercury came into Pisces, we immediately got high. But this is a time right now with the Sun and Mercury passing Saturn that we're able to ground our ideas, the potential energy, this, that, and the third. That's going to happen with, with Mars and Venus. So we want to make sure we're kind of, we don't fly off the rails coming into Mars and Venus in this area. So we don't feel that much of a restriction or the hammer, that Saturn hammer coming down on us, because I know a lot of us might have experienced that Saturn hammer coming down on us and we didn't realize we was even that high in a potential. We didn't realize, we weren't that grounded at all. And that's okay. It's Pisces season. You're supposed to fly in the imagination, but at the same time, we want to realize that because Saturn's here, we do have resources to build these things up. We don't have to stay high in the potential of something. Like, we have to kind of see what tools we have, whether it's experience that's a tool, whether it's a resource that's a tool, whether it's a skill that's a tool, whether it's a contact, whether it's a tool that's a tool for you. What tools Saturn is already creating and developing in this area to ground our imagination into reality some, or also help us to take time, develop a true time frame, a more realistic practical concept of how long and what system is needed to build or structure something in the name of a connection, aspiration, or a healing journey. All right, guys? And that's the thing. Mars may try to override that. Venus may feel discouraged having to run into Saturn and slow down, regardless of how much she likes this guy that she's dating, regardless of how much this new perfume she's getting and how much she's running up her credit card with the things that make her feel good. She's going to be mad. She got to slow that down. And then Mars is going to be so passionate about dealing with something from a creative endeavor, going into the booth and not writing no lyrics down. I'm a freestyler. Yeah, I'm free. Throw the beat on. No, I don't need to write. Cause niggas always saying when I come through, I didn't mean it come through, I never loved you. Mars just want to get in the booth and freestyle. That brother ain't writing no lyrics down. I mean, in the name of Jay-Z, in the name of Lil Wayne. Okay? But Mars gonna have to pass Saturn and be like, damn, all right, maybe I should work on a hook or two before I come into the studio. All right, help me save some time in this mother flipper. You understand what I'm saying, family? So they're going to have to get grounded in some type of way. So we kind of just want to make sure we're ahead of the curve with that. So once again, that Saturn hammer don't come down too hard on us in the name of Mars and Venus having to pass Saturn's ass. Remember, Saturn's like the grumpy grandfather. So Mars and Venus already know when we go to grandpa's house, this nigga finna discipline us. Sun and Moon be letting us roam a little crazy and be us at times, right? Saturn ain't playing none of that. Saturn, even the Sun and the Moon be like, oh, damn. This is almost like Meet the Fockers. The Sun is Ben Stiller, all right? And Saturn is Robert De Niro. This is the best analogy, I swear to God. This is their relationship right here, all right? So that's what we got going on the 22nd. Mars entering Pisces on the 23rd. All right. Following day, we're going to have Jupiter harmonizing with Neptune in a semi-sextile. Okay. A lot of spiritual breakthrough energy manifesting around this time. Feeling the freedom to express self or embrace a new chapter when it comes into self-identity. So this helps encourage things right here when it comes into, allowing ourselves to walk into new experiences based off of new things we want to create and explore, and not worry too much about how people see us. We know what we're doing is bringing expansion into our life, and we start to understand that we're not going to neglect or withhold certain chapters of exploration with our creative endeavors, with the things we have knowledge and wisdom and expertise and skill with, based on how other people look at us, especially when we know establishing these things can shift our reality in some type of shape or form. Jupiter in Taurus, okay? and Neptune in Pisces. All right. Remember, guys, Jupiter also has a nice influence with the nodes. Jupiter likes the nodes. All right, guys. So with us just being in that space, with nodes being more active, with the sun coming into Aries season, now Jupiter is lit up with another spiritual influence with Neptune. Like, that's gonna be just a great energy. Jupiter and Neptune is like this already too. All right, they're already like this. So we want to be open towards what these breakthroughs are around this time, especially in the house that you have Pisces and Taurus in. All right, moving on. The 25th full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. It is going down like Chinatown. All right, first eclipse taking off in the new year, in 2024, and the astrological new year, guys. Guys, full moon lunar eclipses black out whatever we can't take the intention to weed out. So on the regular full moon, yeah, we need to be intentional about what we're detaching and releasing from, and how these things may play out as influences that's heavy on us spiritually, that's holding us back from new opportunities and creating new cycles in our life. But when it's a lunar eclipse, we don't get the chance to make this decision. These things are blacked out, and that's why eclipse seasons are heavy. All right, guys? So this is going to be in our Libra space. So chapters and cycles ending, whether we align with closing it out gracefully or an intense and uncomfortable manner with it closing out. All right, guys, but it's finna close out if it's for the spiritual good in your life. Relationships, Libra, that don't support your true I am identity will most likely manifest intense clashes and expiration dates. Relationship traits that suppress our individuality and self-identity can cause chaotic moments for us to learn. So if you're dealing with any type of relationship activity, group activity, partnership activity around this time, and let's say you have a trait that holds back your individuality, you don't express yourself, you don't speak how you truly feel, you don't say what you truly mean, you're passive in different ways in partnership activity, whatever it may be, if you're not able to identify these traits and you allow them to transpire during this time, you're going to manifest a chaotic situation with somebody extremely taking advantage of you, with somebody extremely disrespecting you to get your back against the wall. And now you could hopefully use this Aries energy to go upside somebody's head in the name of spirituality. God ain't going to be mad at you for that. It's going to be like, thank you, the brother sister got a backbone. It's Aries season. We ain't playing that. But you know how us Libras do. You know how us Libras do. Libra dominants don't get in this comment section and neglect what I'm talking about. You know how we do in the name of passivity. Don't even know if that's a word. God rebuke that spirit if that's not a word. The church know what I'm talking about. In the spirit of passivity. I like that word so much. That is a new word I'm going to be using. We creating words in the congregation. But seriously, y'all, if there's any traits that we have where we allow our individuality to be suppressed, if there's any situations where certain partnerships we're holding on to are suppressing the potential for something with us growing individually, we're going to manifest chaos in this moment. And we don't need to manifest that. Why do we have to go through all of that to grow? We do not be having to go through intense things. We could prevent some of these things sometimes, guys. That's why we in church. Can I get an ashe? All right, family. So that full moon lunar eclipse in Libra ain't no joke. But shout out to eclipse season is going to manifest a lot of what we all need as far as weeding out things in our life in that Libra house. So we kind of want to keep tabs. We kind of want to keep tabs on that space leading up into the full moon. We already know we pick up on new and full moon energies early. So with an eclipse energy, we're going to be feeling it early. This takes off on the 25th. We need to start looking at that mug now. All right, gang. All right, moving on. All right, on the 29th, the asteroid Pallas goes retrograde in Sagittarius. Once again, guys, I will be having a private live stream taking place this first week of March on my Patreon, breaking down asteroids, okay, Pallas, Ceres, Juno, Vesta, Chiron, and understanding how important these influences are in the chart, okay. So just once again, just a reminder for y'all that want to tap into that. But with Pallas going retrograde in Sagittarius, this is going to help to recollect our connections and relationships that serve our spiritual development. Pallas has a lot of connection energy. It's dealing with influences that show how we need to create a responsibility with a relationship here. So with it being in Sagittarius, we're all seeing how our relationships in general affect our spiritual development, but how we're also creating a bond with spiritual development in a way. All right, guys. So recollecting on our connections and relationships in life that serve our spiritual development, or impulse to explore new things in order to create a tighter bond with spirituality in general. So this is going to be a time, because Sagittarius is impulsive, it's fire too. But Sagittarius wants to jump into the exploration in order to, learn and experience new things. So with it Pallas being retrograde, we're going to be able to identify and detect how we've been suppressing our ability to just jump into a new creative experience, into a new journey, a path that's going to bring some new knowledge or wisdom into our life. All right, guys. So that's what we got going on with Pallas going retrograde on the 29th. And then on the 31st, some more asteroid action to close out the month. Vesta entering Cancer. All right, so Vesta enters Cancer. Now the asteroid Vesta has a strong Earth-like influence to it. It has a strong influence of dealing with structure, organization, and stability. Okay, so when Vesta gets into a new sign, it's trying to see what responsibility is going to create here in order to ground things. How can I use this sign in order to bring stability? How do I understand how this sign brings stability in my life, and how do I go about organizing it, right? So it creates a responsibility to organize and helps us to understand how this energy brings stability in our life. But it's Cancer. So how do us, embracing relationships with the loved ones, making sure everything going on in the home environment is something that we look at as a priority, as in a responsibility. This creates a bit of friction here because we're going to be in Aries season. So we have to balance responsibility in the home environment that intensifies around this time, because Vesta could be a little bit, Vesta give me Mercury in Virgo, Mercury in 6th house vibes. All right, guys. So it's really adamant about seeing what to structure and organize, and it goes about it from an intense priority, responsibility perspective. Look at where you have Vesta in your chart. You be going crazy trying to organize and structure things with that sign and in that house. All right, guys. So when it comes into getting into Cancer, we start to have deeper feels, okay, when it comes into things with the home environment, loved ones, our own subconscious and healing journey. But at the same time, we're trying to live and be doers in the name of Aries season. So we just have to find that balance there, and we gonna be all gravy. All right, red beans, red rice, and a little gravy. I ain't too lazy. I know I messed that up, but shout out to Barnell Hill and the Martin Show, top 5 episodes. All right, some of y'all too young don't know what that is. You should know what that is. That's classic stuff right there. All right, guys, but once again, happy first of the month, family. All right, we're gonna continue to build the church up, build the congregation up. Once again, I appreciate all the support, like, share, subscriptions. I mean everything, family. The plates, everything, the kind words, the uplifting words, and we're gonna continue to do what we've been doing and circulate that love, exchange that love vibration in the congregation, and continue to spread the awareness. All right, family. So once again, tap into my website if you want to connect with the Libra on a one-on-one level. Okay. Tap into my Patreon if you want to dive deeper in the name of astrology and spirituality in the month of March. Family, got a lot going on over there. Stay tuned for all the announcements. True Purpose, Find Your Gifts and Talents Masterclass will be going down in this month, so stay tuned for that, especially if you enjoyed the previous masterclass, relationship masterclass that we just finished. Is still available. Link is in description for those of y'all who want to catch the full replay. All right, in-person readings. If you're in New York City, if you're interested for that, stay tuned for those announcements. But other than that, family, I love y'all, and I'm sending high vibrations to everybody in the month of March. Y'all know we finna keep building. I don't know what everybody else in the world finna be doing. I know we finna keep spiritually developing and growing. Can I get an ashe? Can I see them ones in the comments? Can I see that blood of the hood in the comments? Can I see that holy water? Can I see that them plates? If I see that, then I know y'all resonated with this, and I know y'all in the building and y'all ready to get busy in the month of March, family. I love y'all. Peace.